this week. Team, I got a lot of history with, but my high school back home, they're in the state playoffs this week, starting out. Abilene Wiley Bulldogs playing Decatur Eagles in the first round of the state playoffs. So I just want to give a shout out to those guys. But yeah,
taking advantage of your mic time.
Yeah, man, I don't want you guys to get all the glory.
Well, you did bring up the fact that what factor does that play at all?
I was actually bringing up the history of my team.
I saw that.
With Wiley. So.
But you were deflecting.
Yeah, you caught it. Yeah, okay, cool. What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, I just going up against the Rams. I mean, obviously we're going to ask you about that.
Yeah.
You know, your sense about a year ago at this time, you were taking a back seat to the guy now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to play the Rams. First of all, they're 7-2, and they are playing really well. I think it's a 4-game win streak those guys have. So, they're playing awesome. I mean, they're scoring a lot of points on offense, and their defense is holding people, to not many. So, turnovers. They're creating a lot of turnovers. Obviously, their front is it's one of the best in the league, and I've been around it firsthand, so I know exactly how good those guys are. And there's a guy, Aaron Donald, I don't know if you know him, but I think he's underrated. And that's, even though he's Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, I still think he's underrated because I think he's that good. So we got our work cut out for us, and I'm excited. It's a good challenge.
Case, did you consider re-signing with them?
You always consider your options, but it just didn't make sense at the time. Just not a good fit.
Because this was a better fit?
Yeah, I guess.
It's a whole new scheme, obviously, out there, but do you at least feel like you know tendencies of some of the individual guys on defense?
It's hard to say. I mean, like you said, it's a whole new building. I mean, there's a lot of the same guys, so I know a lot of those guys, but they're doing a lot of different things when you try on the film than what they did in the past.
How would you describe your relationship with Jared Goff?
It's funny. I got asked that a lot last year. It's the first time this year. So, yeah, he's a great dude. We've kept up throughout the season. Obviously, a lot of congratulatory texts between the two of us. And, I think one of my friends said it right, just like everybody predicted. Case Keenum, with 7-2 Minnesota Vikings going up against the 7-2 Rams. So, I'm excited. I really am. I mean, he's a great player. He's playing really well, and I'm excited for him.
What were your impressions of Jared as he was kind of learning the game in that first half of the season last year? Watching behind you, how he started to...
He's a smart kid, man. He's a fighter too, because it wasn't easy, last year. So, he got the crap knocked out of him a few times and got back up and can sling it. So, obviously, everybody's seeing what he can do this year, but we've known for a long time that he's a really good player.
How closely do you follow the Rams games, and how often do you get a chance to watch them?
I've watched them one or two. I think they played a Thursday night game, and just some other times that we haven't been playing and they've played. So I definitely try to keep up with those guys. Still friends with a lot of those people, so wish them well. But yeah, so just a little bit.
You wish him well, but does this game have that much more meaning to you? That it's just not another game?
That's how I'm treating it. It's another game. I know a lot of those guys, but for me this week it's business as usual. And business as usual is me doing my job. And my job, as I've told you guys many times, is to put this team in the best possible situation to win football games. And that's moving the football, it's getting first downs, and getting the ball in the end zone, scoring points.
You've been asked with Teddy McKee now your play was being scrutinized too because the 2 second half interceptions. It's almost like it creates an opportunity now to accelerate perhaps getting them back in lineup. How do you prevent that from seeping into your play and playing defensively? I guess that's what
Man, that's stuff that you guys talk about. I mean, I'm trying to win ball games. I'm doing the best I can, and that's showing up every day and doing my job. That's protecting the football. Obviously, that's learning from my mistakes. That's continue to do things well that I do well. But I think all that stuff, that's just storylines for you guys to talk about. So I don't pay attention to it.
What kind of leadership skills do you think you've honed upon those last 7 games of the season last year when Jared took over, and you supporting him through that role and still being able to stay ready?
What was the question of that?
Leadership skills. I mean, just kind of being in that situation, did it make you a better leader? Kind of going through that rough stretch at the end of the season, where and did you help? What kind of advice did you give Jared at that point, guiding him through that?
Yeah, I mean, every situation you're in, no matter what's going on, you can either, shut down and get worse, or you can get better. I tried to get better, so I focused on little things, and I was trying to be the best that I could. But that's last year, and it's a new year, so you learn from your past, but we're moving forward.
What was it like though, Case, last year when Jared was drafted #1? I mean, was it kind of week to week? Well, is he going to take over this week? Is he going to take over next week? What was that whole process like? He was kind of waiting.
Yeah, like I said, that's last year. You can go back and look at a lot of interviews I did. I answered that question more than enough times. So, that's last year. I'm looking forward to this year. 2 different teams, 2 totally different teams. And I'm excited for this week.
What do you remember about practicing against Aaron Donald? Just seeing that disruption up close.
Yeah, it's unbelievable how quickly he gets to the ball and disrupts. He's a force to reckon with inside. So, a guy that we got to have a plan for, and because I know he's prepared. I know he's studied up. He's not just a physical guy. He's smart. He knows where the ball's going. He knows his job and how to disrupt different plays. So I remember it a lot. I remember it well because you had to get the ball out quick versus him.
In case the Rams brought in a new left tackle this year, you guys brought in a new left tackle, and both offenses have really taken big strides this season. How important is it to have a stalwart over there who you can really rely upon as a quarterback?
Yeah, I think offensive line. The game starts up front, both sides of the football. So our offensive line has obviously done a tremendous job. I think you guys probably know better than I do, but it was another game without a sack, and that's quite a few this season already. So we're looking to keep that streak alive. And I think those guys are playing their tails off, all the way across the board. So it gives you a tremendous amount of comfort as a quarterback knowing you got a guy backside like Riley, and all across the board guys that are playing well together.
What's the trust level with Adam when you're out of the pocket and he might not live a route and put his hand up and you throw the ball up and he's going to come down?
I think you saw it last week. You saw what he can do with a little bit of space and a little more time to get open. So I got a lot of guys that I like to look to. So to have a weapon like that, and I think that only helps him, helps me, helps Diggs, helps Rudy, helps all the other receivers, Tread, all those guys, and they build off of it and encourage one another, and it's pretty cool to see those guys making plays like they have.
What did they say, Case, about the interceptions last week? I know Coach said maybe you sometimes get a little excitable or so, or what they kind of told you about those.
I just have to know the situation. I got to be smart. Can't put our team in tough spots like that. Obviously, we battled through, made the right plays when we needed to, but I just got to be smarter in those situations.
Is this a game where you have to be careful about not getting too excited because you are going against your old team, and just kind of take things as you would normally?
Yeah, I think so. And that's why I said it's business as usual, man. Like I tell you guys every week, every team in this league is really good. And I'm not just coming up here and talking about defenses and telling you that they're really good because, I want to tell you guys, these guys are really good. And, so I treat every week the same. This maybe a little more familiarity with these guys, but it's business as usual for me.
Was there a day that you found out that you'd be starting this week, or is it just kind of an assumption you've made?
I figured I might as well just count on it.
What are your thoughts on Todd Gurley?
Todd, he's a good dude, man. He really is. He's a great teammate that I've gotten to play with. I really enjoyed playing with him. You got to see what he does on the field. It's absolutely unbelievable. So talented, and a guy that I know is just going to continue to be really good, and we're going to be talking about him for a long time.
Case, you certainly challenged a pretty good cornerback tandem last week. What's your confidence level right now in your game?
I feel very confident. I'm confident in how I'm playing. I feel confident in how my offense is playing. I feel confident in my offensive line. With run game and pass game, those guys are playing really well. We ran the ball really well last week, which which really helps open up play action and deep stuff down the field. So, you know, and obviously outside, I've got confidence in every single one of those guys in that receiver room. You know, the tight end room too, everybody was getting involved. So, you know, I love where we're at as an offense, and I think everybody in that offensive room wants to get better. And I think that's, you know, that's a trait of a good team, of a really good team that, you know, we're not satisfied. We're still hungry.
Last couple for Case.
Thanks, guys.